Alright, so start working on the design doc. So here is the jam itself. So 13 days, 17 hours left to submit. Theme is Shadows and Alchemy, which I'm really kind of bummed about. The community was able to vote on it, and they went with those two. And then they were able to vote to take both of them on, which is, I don't like it because I have an issue with my current design doc because of it. And then the submission, a game design document has to be submitted with it. So I just used their sample as a template and filled out all the things with what I'm currently thinking. And I'm sure I'll update it with the realities when I actually start stuff and realize what I can and can't do. Still needs some fine tuning, but the majority of it's done. So the prototype is a very limited working copy of your game. Focus on playability over anything else. If it doesn't run, it won't win. Your prototype must run as a browser upload here on the itch. For reasons this requires for judging, reduction of malware. Winners will be announced during the daily dev stream. Blah, blah, blah. Voting criteria. So here's the so playability. Were systems in your game clunky or polished? Was the game tripping over itself when the judges tried to play it? Focus on playability and make sure your build works. This is the most important category and counts for a lot. So it has to work. Things have to do what they want to do. Things have to be hooked up right. So that's going to be the main focus, is getting that done first. Theme implementations. Did your game follow the theme? Was the theme entirely ignored? Did you implement the theme in a clever, interesting way? I'll talk about that in a second. Cleverness. Did you have an ingenious mechanic in your game? Maybe you told a story with an interesting or unique twist. The more clever you are, the more likely you are to win. I'm not worried about that one at all. I'm more worried about just doing a simple thing in a short amount of time and doing it well. Executing it completely. That's always the idea, but to actually do it means I need to keep things simple. And so trying to be clever or smart or funny or do something that's outside my wheelhouse, I think is a good way to trip myself up. So if I happen to do it, bully for me, but that's not the focus. Artistic style. Everyone has a style. Pixel art, MIDI, something you think works and run with it. That I'm not too worried about. I've already got a color palette that I chose because I want something bright, because I think this shadow as a theme is just going to lead to a lot of gray. Well, my worry is that, or at least my strategy is that because it's shadow, there's going to be a lot of grays, purples, blues, things that are darker, less saturated, more monochrome, or maybe like a dual with like some highlights. But I think there's going to be a lot of darker palettes chosen for this jam, just because of it's the go-to for the theme, shadow. So I wanted a highly saturated, very colorful theme. So I already know my artistic style is going to be something that pops, because I hope that it will contrast against the 13,000 other people who are part of this jam. Because that's right, 14,000 people signed up for this jam. So, if they get a whole lot of that, then I think high color, high saturation is gonna help me stand out. And then just, saturate it throughout the whole thing, add variety, repetition, use the founding principles of art, the basic fundamentals that every art student learns. Just I'll pull those up when I'm doing all the art stuff and make sure I follow along and hit all those beats. And then judge choice, like whatever, they're just gonna pick what they want to pick, so I don't have to worry about that. But that's what is being judged on. And there we go. So the thing that I did when I was at work was I was able to think about the different things in the design document. And so the design document was by these guys, by Azin for the 2020 Pirate Software GameJam. This will be by Catstall Games for the 2024 GameJam. And so they laid out all these nice little sections for me, so I kind of knew what I needed to fill in. I'll change that with whenever I figure out what my splash page is for the intro. So first, the game summary pitch. Buy shit ingredients from Shadow Market. Refine ingredients by keeping them on the board long enough to make them better. Sell elixir for money to buy better ingredients. That's the basic loop, the basic idea behind it. That's what the player will actually be doing in the game. Inspiration is Quacks of Quellenberg. It's a great board game. It's one of my favorite. There's these really great tokens. It's got a great feel when you reach into this bag to pull out the tokens. It's really good. Just like that idea of the alchemist building up this pot, this push your luck mechanic. The thing is, the way their push your luck mechanic is implemented, it works really good for you versus other people. I have never done a multiplayer thing. I don't have time, I think, to learn how to implement something like that. And I honestly don't know how I would. But that push your luck idea, I thought is super cool. And I think it's something that I want to include as a key part of what you're doing. And then Papers, Please. I think I can probably get rid of this one, actually. I don't know. The way that I was thinking about it, this idea of a menu-based, the interface itself as a game, where when you go to buy your ingredients, there's more than just, there's actually oh, you can do this or that, and there's a reaction from the menu. So the menu will change based on things that you do. A dynamic menu, basically, when you buy stuff. But I think that also might be too ambitious. So I might use something like this, though, as inspiration for the UI itself. This kind of low poly dual window kind of thing might be cool. I don't know. I'll have to think on that. I've also never played this game. I was only going off kind of what I've heard about it and seen about it. My impression of what this game is was why I wanted to include it. So player experience. First part is menu game, where you need to pick ingredients. The cheaper they are, the longer it takes to refine. Next, you take your ingredients and you refine them. I don't think that's really the player experience, but I'll have to look at what they actually have